Swag Wanted Podcast. Goat vibes.
So during the midst of this hype, with all the influence that, started to get the notoriety in the city of Philadelphia, where were you in the midst of this hip hop forming in Philadelphia? Where were you?
I became taking records to the radio because we in 1980 we felt as though the press wasn't representing hip hop right. They was talking about a lot of killing and the hoodlums and stuff like that. So we made a fan magazine because I don't think a lot of people know that the Source started here as a sheet, the top 25 hip hop records.
Not to cut you off, so you're saying that the Source magazine started here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, as a sheet. And then Lady B had a magazine called Strictly Hip Hop, and then we had a tour magazine called Organized Rhyme. We were one of the first ones that ever gave Public Enemy a cover. We were there when EPMD got signed to Russell and them. We were there when Dana started Flavor Unit and signed Naughty by Nature. We helped L with his thing. The biggest thing when L first came out, because L wore his hat all the time, and we wanted to take his hat off.
You speaking on L Cool J?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He never takes his hat off. If you know about LL, he likes to wear hats. So we tried to take his hat off, but I think Hollywood paid him the right number to make him take his hat off. But anyway, we first executive that really supported us was Russell Simmons. Russell, he was a visionary, still is. We ran with, Death Row was the first record company that ever spent $1 million on the street team stuff. We ran with them, we did a whole major article on them, and then you got Double XL came out after us, Source moved to New York, then I started focusing more on radio, and I was the guy who would take the radio. They call them influencers now. I would be on TikTok, and we had a phone back then. I would take it, make sure all the tastemakers had the record first, like DJs like you. That's why I try to keep a relationship with DJs, because DJs are very important. Even without a record, DJs are important.
So let me ask you this, so with you being a part of the magazine company, and writing about artists and getting them on front covers and stuff like that, how did you wind up being a person to actually being able to take your records to the radio station?
I got a record on acetate from this, it was called a lean. It was called Release Yourself. And because they knew I had a relationship with WDAS and stuff like that, they was like, yo, can you take this record and see if they will play it? And at that time, we were finished high school, and Eric was a real hot DJ here, EC La Rock. So I passed it off to him. He played it, and the record took off, and they came back and gave me $1,500. And I was like, whoa, that's how that works? So, and then I met my mentors, legends that do this stuff, that did the radio. I gotta mention, there was one guy who was one of the first black executives. His name was Alan Lott. He did Aretha Franklin, he discovered New Edition. Then it was Buddy D, who was the national for Atlantic. And then he had Snooky Jones, and he got Donnie Seller, who broke Janet Jackson's records here. And they showed me how to approach radio, because each radio station gets to screen what plays and what fits their format. You just don't go and say, play my record.
Yeah.
It used to be it was a special day called Radio Day, and it was every Tuesday. And all the nationals and locals would go up to City Line Avenue, because all radio stations were in City Line Avenue. And you would go and sit in the lobby and wait your turn. And I was an independent, so I would go and just to meet the cats and learn how to do it. And I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to have the opportunity to run in and out of the station. I met Missy Elliott when they first came up there, and it was I met a whole lot of people. I don't like to name drop, but yeah, I got the chance to meet even Michael Jackson. He released his first album about Ben the Mouse. He was up at WDAS. He came in to talk to Butter and, hey, this is my album, that whole thing. Because I come to find out this game is all about relationships. If you don't have the right relationships, you're not going to get your record played. I don't care how much money you spend.
Swag One and Podcast. Goat Vibes.